All right, Chelsea fans, welcome back to the YouTube channel. We're going to be covering the Wolves match preview today. That's right. We're going to be taking a look at who's back, who's healthy, who might be missing for Chelsea and Wolves, and what our recent record against them is like. Spoiler alert, it's not great. Stay tuned. All right, well, match week is back. We're in Premier League week 10 already, heading into a match with Wolves at the weekend. Again, Chelsea playing every 3 games, 3 days or so. So the game's coming thick and fast. And there's going to be a lot to break down. The good news for us is that Graham Potter's already has press conference. So we have some definitive updates about Wesley Fofana, N'Golo Kante, Marco Cucurella. And we also actually have some updates from the Wolves side as well. So we're going to be looking at that. To kick it off, though, the big talking point, I think, in this one is definitely got to be that Wolves do not have a manager. They've been linked with a lot of different people, Pochettino, Juan Lopetegui. I even think Andres Villas-Boas is being linked with them. So they are looking for a candidate. So they're in a bit of a transition right now. I think we can avoid the new manager bounce, but there is going to be an interim manager lift potentially that we might have to deal with. So let's go ahead, screen share as we usually do here. We've got Graham Potter dressed for the occasion, doing his typical pre-match press conference, and gave us some injury updates, which really is the only thing that we have. When we play this often, there's really nothing else to talk about other than who's fit, who's healthy, and that's what we got. The first one up is Wesley Fofana, as you can see here from the image on the Chelsea FC site. He went off with an injury, was seen leaving on crutches and a leg brace, and so it's just easy for us to assume the worst. Mere PTSD flashbacks from dominating Juventus last season but losing Chilwell. We're like, surely we didn't just dominate Milan and lose Fofana. And good news, we didn't. Sounds like he'll be out for a few weeks, 3 to 4 weeks in there, with just a kind of a muscle bruise or sprain, which is the best case scenario. Potter said, quote, Wesley's knee is not as bad as we thought after the game. So that's good because it was cause for concern at the time, but it will still be a few weeks. I think it's considerably better than it could be, but he will be obviously missing a few weeks. So like I said, from our perspective, does that probably end his World Cup hopes? Yeah. Does that mean he's going to be healthy and be able to play all season? Yeah. Selfishly, as a Chelsea fan, like, that's good news for us and how it's going with Fofana. He's only played a couple matches. We need to get him integrated into the Chelsea side so he can continue to dominate. Next one is obviously N'Golo Kante, which huge name, huge player. We get it. We don't really need to kind of explain why we want N'Golo Kante back. But the good news is Graham said, quote, he's doing more and more integration with the team. He's still not ready for the weekend, but getting closer. It is what it is. There's nothing we can do. The injury happened, and now it's about trying to get him back fit and getting him as ready as we can so he can play for a sustained period, end quote. For me, that's the biggest thing. Not only do we need to get him back, we need to get him long-term back, right? We need N'Golo Kante to be fit for multiple weeks at a time. Obviously France are going to want him for the World Cup, but that's not our prerogative. Our prerogative is to get N'Golo Kante back to match fitness and sustain it throughout the Premier League and the FA Cup and the League Cup and Champions League and just all the competitions that we're in, because he's absolutely crucial. The other thing that we got an update on, I don't know where this one was, but Cucurella is back. Might be a little bit further down. Yes, Cucurella is now completely recovered and actually said that he will be involved tomorrow. He literally says that. So if you're looking at your fantasy teams, I would say this is a pretty direct indication that Cucurella is going to play, which makes sense. Look, Chili Bees played 2 matches, full 90s back-to-back. A little bit of a rest for him isn't a bad thing whatsoever. And then we talked about Jorginho, Havertz are available, as is Edouard Mendy. So again, do you play Mendy at the weekend or do you keep Kepa? Because what has he done to not deserve to play? I think that you play Kepa, but I can totally understand if he rates Mendy higher, then you play your best players. His job is to win, not to make people happy, although they go hand in hand a little bit. And then lastly, just want to pop back up here. The steady progress growth. This is something I've kind of been beating the drum on with Chelsea. I'm just saying, look, I know a lot of people are like, oh, why is he playing this player and this and that and formations? He is feeling it out, right? He has now finally had a sustained period of time with the players where he's able to analyze them. They're getting serious minutes. He's able to see who he can trust, who can do the things that he wants them to do. And so I think this is like really important, and it's really good to see. I mean, they're literally using the same talking points that I've given you guys in previous videos and previous podcasts. Go check it out. I'm on the record. But Potter has said that he's just taking things game by game and not looking too far ahead during this busy spell until the World Cup. That's it. We need to get to the World Cup in full sync, everyone healthy, and a good string of results. That's where we need to be. Anything other than that is just a short-termism view that is probably unrealistic. I mean, if you started a new job, would it be fair if your boss expected you to have everything solved within 5-7 business days? No, that's crazy. It's the same thing with Potter. Like, I think we need to realize that, like, this is his job, just like us in our jobs. He has expectations in transition time. Like, Kante, we're in a good spot. The quote from Graham is, I think we've made a little bit of progress in terms of my first day to now, as you'd expect and hope, but there's a long way to go. And I think the thing is, we just have to focus on the next match. It's as simple as that. We've got this incredible amount of games to play. So rather than think too much about what will happen at the end of the season, we'll just focus on the next game, end quote. And that's so logical, so sensible from the man. Step by step, if we build throughout the entire season, we're going to be knocking on the door of some exciting things come this spring. And that's all we want. And then lastly, looks like no player suspended for Chelsea, but Ruben Neves is out for Wolves. And I believe, and I should double check this, give me a second. I don't know. Long story short, it looks like Neto will be out as well. So Neves and Neto out for Wolves, which is good for us. If we jump over to the Premier League site, they're going to give us a little bit of information of the head-to-head and kind of the past history between the two clubs. Wolves have been a bit of a bogey team. If you remember, we played Wolves the first match under Thomas Tuchel, which was a draw, but we all went on to greatness from there. So as you can see, the recent meetings, draw, lost back in 2020 in the pandemic, and then we won long time ago, right? This is July. Remember when we were playing in July after the shutdown? So we actually haven't done well against Wolves for a long time. As far as how both teams are doing from a form guide perspective, we've got 3 wins, 2 losses. They have 1 win, 2 losses, and 2 draws, which is obviously why Bruno Lage was let go. I believe they've won like 1 in 10 or something like that, which obviously isn't what you want. Then the season so far, Chelsea in 5th, Wolves in the relegation zones in 18th place. We've won 4. They've only won 1. Those are the big ones that we want to look at. And then if you look at average goals scored per match and conceded, I always love these stats, right? We're scoring 1.43 to their 0.38, so this should be a shutout type match for us. And then again, we're conceding that 1.43, which is going down, which is good, and they're conceding over a goal a match. So again, statistically on paper, Chelsea are in a good form, undefeated in 3, winning big against Milan, whereas Wolves are just trudging along. They're there for the taking. Chelsea should get maximum points for this match, and that should be the expectation, even if there's rotation in the lineup, and that's all we should see. Lastly, you love to see that just Chelsea players dominating the stats, goals, assists, passes, tackles. Sure, we'll give it to Neves, but again, not gonna be there. My last thing that I love to talk about are match officials for the week. So if you scroll down here to the Chelsea match, you're going to get Simon Hooper, 4th official Tom Bramall, VAR David Coote, assistant VAR Harry Leonard. Like not the worst, not the best, like very lukewarm, which I think is what you can expect. So, anyways, that's the match review. But before you go, I do want to touch on friend of the pod, Matt Law, dropping exciting news this morning that Chelsea are ready to appoint Christopher Vivell as technical director. A little bit weird, let's be honest, because he was just let go by RB Leipzig. So one of those things where you're kind of like, oh, great, we got a guy that we think we wanted, but he just got fired from his job. So a little bit of mixed feelings and confusion on this one, but Matt, as always, has the lowdown. All the other journalists crediting him with this scoop. So you want to make sure you go check that out at the Telegraph site. Go see what Matt had to say. It is all breaking news. Very, very fresh. German has left his role at RB Leipzig because of, quote, contrasting views with the club to move to Stamford Bridge. And he's going to be joining as a new technical director. And if you guys remember, Matt said technical director is like a general manager, and then you still need a sporting director to kind of manage the transfers and the tactical side of it. This technical director should, in theory, be overseeing all of Cobham, getting the sharing of ideas between the men's team, the women's team, the youth, creating that like continuity across all the different divisions, so there's no parity in resources and data sharing and ideas. So that's going to be his big task when he starts here. Obviously, Bully's talked nothing but the RB model. Loves it, loves it, loves it. Looking at buying a club in Portugal, probably Brazil, as well as I think they've looking at Belgium is the 3 markets. So look, as far as what we can see, I asked our friends, we got Joe Tweeds and Yaz who do the Tinkerman for us, the tactics guys. Their opinion is that they hope that we're appointing the guy rather than, because of his CV, rather than saying, oh, no, we're going to hire you because you're going to turn this into RB model, right? Like that's what you don't want. You don't want us just hiring Red Bulls, the football group people, just to say, we want that, go build us that. Hopefully we're saying, no, you are a highly intelligent, a good operator, executor in this type of a model. We need you to come in and take Chelsea's advantages and make them great. So that's what, Yaz said. The fact that Freund turned us down, remember, from RB Salzburg, he liked the no spotlight in the lower level support of developing talent. So it sounds like this Christopher guy is going to be a little bit more hands-on, excited for the opportunity, not afraid of the shadow. And then CFC Central 3, I had to ask him, obviously brainiac when it comes to this stuff. And it sounds like he's super highly rated in Germany. He's gone from a match analyst to a scout to head of recruitment to technical director in less than 10 years. So as far as like, he's clearly succeeding in every role he has, and he's gotten to like kind of the top of that food chain. That's a good sign. Apparently like within RB's group there's some concerns, but they're also trying to figure out, how they kind of tweak their model as well. He talked about how there's some strong decisions that he's made, specifically talking about Christopher here, and then they've paid off. It was just, he essentially, he was a big fan saying like, look, Chelsea could pay that much for Holland, 130 million, and it wouldn't be a mistake. And that he was good value for money. And as we can see with City, that was not wrong at all. So I think in all, it's kind of interesting. Everyone's got pros and cons. Everyone's got their own opinion on these things, but go check out Matt Law's article. He's crushing it when it comes to that. But again, Todd Boehly making moves. This just goes back to now we have a technical director, Nkunku deal, Josko Gvardiol, a left back. My bad. I made that apology. In sense, Chelsea clearly have a really strong connection with RB, and they're almost using them as a feeder system to build Boehly's big expanding view of how he wants to tackle world football with Chelsea and everything. So that's going to wrap us up, though. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think on predictions wise. I didn't do a lineup prediction. We're going to do that, I think, on TikTok, social media. So go check out our channels there. But we're going to big one here. We're doing another pre-match live stream. That's right. We're going to be live streaming before the match, looking at lineups, looking at the breaking news, see if there's any kind of changes to personnel that's available. We're going to be looking at opportunities of how to kind of crush it as far as like maximizing 3 points. And then we'll be back post-match to review everything, react to how it went. So anyways, hope you have a great Friday, everybody. Big match at the weekend, aka every match is a big match. Go have fun, find friends, take it all in on Saturday. Should be 3 points all day long. I'm out. See ya.